Only in the year 2020-21 we got water supply. Yes.
2021,
Yes.
3 years.
Yes. That I was attached with one of the IAS officer. I requested her. I told the situation of my village. So it was one of the oldest village in my tribe. My tribe is a Maring. So I explained the situation to her, and she readily accepted, and then through her we get the water supply finally. They love me for that, of course, and then they have prayed me a lot. They fasted for me for this exam. I mean, they equally went through the hardship. It was, I would say that this journey is not a one-man effort. And one thing is that whenever I used to do this mopping, I think like, I mean, after doing degree, and if I have to do this, I'm doing this thing. So that somehow hit me hard at that moment. But then I continued because thinking that this is not going to be forever. More than the exam, as I'm repeating again, more than the exam, handling this pressure is the biggest challenge in this journey.
So guys, we are back with another very interesting session. We all know that talent is evenly distributed, but ranks are not, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि यूपी बिहार में ज़्यादा talented लोग हैं, right? Talent is equally distributed, but we know that there are regional disparities, there are language-based disparities when it comes to ranks, right? And whenever you have someone who has crossed those barriers, तो इनकी stories एक अलग level पे important हो जाती हैं highlight करने के लिए, and they serve to motivate everyone across the nation, right? So this is one such story. I have Molightson with me, and he is going to be in the IRS, in the revenue services this time. Hats off.
Thank you, sir.
हमारा tradition है, we start with giving you 2 interesting books, right? First one is Rebel Sultan, the Deccan. It's about the Deccan area, and Manu Pillai is someone who is bringing storytelling in history. So all the boring bits he is removing from history. जैसे कि आपको story और उस time पे क्या conspiracies चल रहे थे, लोग सारे stakeholders के दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था, you get to understand all of that. So more on storytelling, so it becomes easier to absorb, right? So should be an interesting read. क्योंकि ये एरिया भी बहुत कम एक्सप्लोर्ड है. लाइक हम लोग सिर्फ ऐसा कहते थे मुगल्स ही है, एंड डेक्कन में भी मुगल्स गए थे, तो बोला फंडा नहीं है. दे वर लाइक अ वेरी डिफरेंट कैटेगरी ऑफ रूलर्स इन देमसेल्व्स, डेक्कन वाले, राइट? सेपियंस इज समथिंग जो आपको 2017 में दुरुश शेट्टी सर ने भी इस बुक को बहुत ज्यादा प्रोमिनेंस पे ले आए थे. इट्स अबाउट हाउ वी हैव इवॉल्व्ड एज ह्यूमंस, हाउ वी अंडरस्टूड हाउ टू कोलैबोरेट, एंड थिंग्स that other animals couldn't do, but we could, and eventually we thrived, right? तो दोनों की बहुत gripping stories हैं. Hopefully you'll find them very interesting and intriguing, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
So अब हम लोग शुरू करते हैं यार. Tell us about your story, about your life, your tribe. सबसे पहले वहाँ से ही शुरू करते हैं. What is your way of life, and अब now that you have seen the world outside also, like Delhi में, you have been to Pune, all of these places. How do you contrast your way of life and with how the outside world operates? अगर मुझे ऐसे ही शुरू करना है तो आप थोड़ा सा बताइए उसके बारे में.
हाँ sir. So first of all, my name is Molightson. I am from Manipur. So I call myself very lucky because I grow up from a very small village, and then I get to explore beautiful cities like Hyderabad, Pune, got to work in Pune, and then in Chandigarh, and also had some experience in Delhi also. So I have both the experience, both village life and the city lives. So I can easily relate the differences. I mean, I enjoy both. There are. I grew up in a village where it is far away from the main cities. So I sometimes feel that whenever I'm in village, I'm totally cut out of the city lives. So I get to know both the way of life, and then I call myself very lucky again. And then I think I encourage all my friends also that we should both. I sometimes can't imagine, friends from Delhi or the main cities had to spend the entire life without having to experience the way of life in village. And the village people also, not knowing the way of life of the main cities. There are many people in my village who have not been to major cities. They don't know. They can only enjoy or see through cinemas or YouTubes. But then I have enjoyed
Live
both
through
life.
it.
Yes. So I encourage my city friends to visit village and village people to visit the cities. So
And in terms of facilities, how was your village like? आपके यहाँ पानी, बिजली, were all of these things available in terms of like, और इनके लिए भी आपके लिए struggle रहा है?
I remember the first electricity we got in our village. So that was, if I recall correctly, it was way back in 2002 or 3. Before that, there was no electricity. And then in terms of water supply, only in the year 2020-21 we got water supply. Yes.
2021,
Yes.
3 years.
Yes. Before that, villagers had to go down the hills and fetch water from there, climb the hills and all. But then I was lucky that I was attached with one of the IAS officer. I requested her. I told the situation of my village. So it was one of the oldest village in my tribe. My tribe is a Maring. So I explained the situation to her, and she readily accepted. And then through her, we get the water supply finally.
And he's the second civil servant from his tribe, Maring tribe.
Yes, sir.
So again, community-specific challenges that
And
he has
you
faced.
got it. It was your initiative that got water in your.
Yes, somehow I was able to reach the the issues to the officer. I mean, in one way, like the proper channel or supposed to, I don't know why, how to put in. But then, yes, I think I did contribute a bit in getting the water in the village.
And how did your villagers react? Like
They-
you became the national celebrity for them. You became
Yes,
the
they were very happy, especially the women folk. Village has become more clean, and the drinking water availability has changed a lot. We can organize huge festivals in our village now. Earlier, water used to be a big issue, and then they love me for that, of course. And then they have prayed me a lot. They fasted for me for this exam. I mean, they equally went through the hardship. It was, I would say that this journey is not a one-man effort. I think there is lots of people behind it, be it parents, be it mentor, be it religious or communities, relatives. I think everyone has a contribution behind. So,
Sir, he comes from a very humble origin, as he says, and he started his career as a hotel training operation. I mean,
Take us through that. Take us up. Your first interactions, like when you start looking outwards, तो क्या होता है आपकी लाइफ में? How did the hotel thing happen? Like बिल्कुल कनेक्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ मैं होटल से IRS.
imagine somebody mopping the floor, cleaning toilets, and achieving so far, so big, coming so far, achieving so big.
Yeah. So how did the thought of hotel management come into your thing?
so first thing is that we had no idea what hotel industry is all about. First of all, because we do not have any big hotels in Manipur, so we cannot relate it. We have not seen any hotels, 5-star hotels or something sort of. But then my cousin brother, he introduced. He happened to live in major cities, so he know the potential of the hotel industry. So right after my 12th, we applied for hotel management. I don't know how I ended up. I myself don't know. I was absolutely had no idea what this hotel industry is all about. When we say hotel, what we can see is only the chai hotel, not the big hotels like brand hotels. And then, I think that journey, it was in 2006. Yeah, I studied there in Hyderabad, Institute of Hotel Management, Hyderabad, for 3 years till 2009. And then after that, I joined Radisson Blu in Pune, which was a opening hotel. I was a part of the pre-opening team, and in housekeeping department. So where we do all the moppings and glass cleanings, WC cleanings, all those things.
I think वहाँ career progression, it's a normal thing only.
Yes,
वहाँ career
yes.
progression का तो step 1
Yes.
वही है, right? From
I,
there you.
I think hotel industry has also given me lots in improving my personality, in the way how I look at life. I realized that life is difficult. I mean, lots of challenges are there. And above all, it made me able to face different people. Earlier, I was a very shy guy. I could not even speak to girls or to anyone, strangers. But then this hotel industry made me open up, get out of those hesitation, and then I got lots of friends also. And the nature of work is that it will make you a bit. I think it made me a stronger person.
So I remember him telling me that he used to get emotional also sometimes because it involves some kind
Work
of
is stressful. Definitely it's stressful.
Work is stressful, and he used to cry his heart out to his father. And I mean, tell us more about that when you used to confess this to your father that this is a job that
Some industries are very brutal. Time पे शुरू होगा, सब काम आपको
करके देना है.
टाइम फिक्स टाइमिंग नहीं था एक तो आई मीन होटल इंडस्ट्री कभी भी आपको टाइम खींचना पड़ता था. हाँ,
कोई भी रिक्वेस्ट आ जाएगा.
हाँ, that is there. And one thing is that whenever I used to do this mopping, I think like, I mean, after doing degree, and if I have to do this, I'm doing this thing. So that somehow hit me hard at that moment. But then I continued because thinking that this is not going to be forever. But then the moment what sir has mentioned about my experience, about crying to my father, is that there are situations when guest complaints happens, when we had to argue with our colleagues, because it's a very hectic, I mean, lots of pressures are there because it's a service related oriented industry. Any small mistakes, we have to give reasons, I mean, answer for that. So there was one incident when a guest was checking out, and then as a housekeeping supervisor, we have to check the rooms. I mean, if the guest has left anything behind, or if any hotel property is missing. So that particular day, the TV remote was missing. So I called up the front desk that TV remote is missing. So they had to check the guest luggage. But then the guest came up, and he, unfortunately, the TV remote was stuck in between the sofa and the wall, which I failed to see. So one of my friends in front desk, we were close. He scolded me like very badly. I felt bad, and he was also true from his side because he had to ask the guest to open up the luggage and all. So that made me very emotional that day. So I cried over phone, calling my father that I want to quit and all. So those are one of the moments where
you realize life is hard.
Yes, it is hard.
So again, I think more on this part that when you were working in hotel and you did various kind of jobs, did any time at this moment civil services, were you even inch close to civil services? How far you were from civil services as a thought process, as something that you will pursue it someday?
No, there was no such nothing in my mind. I don't know how it suddenly came in my mind when it was far-fetched. I mean, I don't know, it never came in my mind. But then maybe God want me to serve the society through better services.
Also, sir, he was married. He was married in 2014.
Yes.
2014, and his salary was 15 or 18,000 when he was married. So, of course, he had to support his family, and the job was brutal. Again, what did you do immediately to improve your lifestyle then, and what happened after that? From there, what was the next step after you got married?
The first thing is that my wife is also very understanding. She understands my desire to pursue this journey, and she is good in managing such things, like in terms of money. I need not worry. She does not make me worry about the financial issues. I have some earnings, that I leave it to her. I ask her to manage it. And my parents were also very, very supportive, especially my father. He sponsored all my men's coachings, travelings, and all these things. Not only my father, even my villagers contributed a certain amount of money and helped me especially during the interview process. So, as I have mentioned earlier, this is not a one-man journey. There are lots of people behind all these things.
So Molightson, you are closer to your father, and it seems like he is someone very wise who has guided you throughout, this journey and ensured that you take the right steps at every moment. Right? You have talked to him whenever you have felt like, this journey is getting tougher and things like that. So tell me more about him as well. Like, उनका क्या perspective रहता था?
Sir, I look up to my father very respectfully because he himself is a very hardworking person. You won't believe he is the first person to pass matriculation in my village.
Amazing.
And I remember he also got married very early. My mother is a Anganwadi worker. She earns around, I was told that she earns around 150 rupees per month. And my father was jobless when they were married. And he just finished matriculation. She helped my father in buying books and all. And then I remember my father's graduation. and one thing I still remember is that my father once mentioned to my brothers, I don't know if others remember, but still remains with me, is that what he said is that you people, if people knows you, is all because of me. He said that. So then that made me, that was a challenge to me. That yes, that is true. People know us because of my father, because he is a bit known in my community. So yeah, he used.
You don't have your own identity. That's what.
So I wanted to.
That hit you. Penny.
Yes. So now I can proudly say that my father will be known because of me. I wanted that to happen. And then he was a very hardworking person. He takes books wherever he go, be it in the toilet or wherever he go.
Achha, so he is into reading.
Yes. He can sit the entire day on the table, working on things till today. So that is an inspiration for all of us.
Also, he was not giving prelims this year.
Yes. That part
and his
also,
father was begging to him that you please give.
he never hesitated in spending money when it comes to books and studies. That is one good thing about my father. And the last prelims, which was in May 20th, I was about to give up because the violence broke out in May 3, and I was certain that it will be difficult. And then an option to change the center pop up from the UPSC. I opted for Kohima. But then I thought I will not go because I have given up on May 3rd. I did not prepare. We had to escape Imphal city to our places. But then it was my father who insisted me, who was literally begging me to go and give this prelim. Whether you clear it or not, please go and give the exam this time. Next time, I will not pressurize you. But this time, please go and give it. So we took the risk of driving through the red zone areas. I mean, those high violent areas. And we had to drive through till Kohima. We spent the night there, gave the exam, and we came back. So yes, he has been a very supportive father to me. I think more than what other fathers could have done to their sons or daughters. I'm very
Guys,
fortunate.
absolutely unbelievable story. Like इतने parts हैं आप like sir could have told you any time कि इतना violence हो रहा है, let this attempt go,
हाँ.
क्या risk लेना, ठीक है.
Yes.
Second, like चलो center change हो गया, all of that has happened, but traveling एक दिन पहले का भी decision कि going through all these areas, right, and then finally एक उस frame of mind में आना जिससे कि आप exam दे पाओ, right, like anywhere anything could have gone wrong, right, one point here and there and the attempt is gone. Right.
Even financing him, he's a 30 plus man, married man. He could have said, "You
Yes,
finance him
exactly.
yourself."
Exactly. As I said, he said, no need to worry about it. Financially, we will support you. And he did that. That is one privilege I have.
Such an emotional story that we really cannot take care of our emotions at this moment because it is, of course, emotional. Okay, the hardships of hotel management has happened. Now you have okay. You also cleared some departmental exam of government of Manipur. So how did that exam or that job changed your life, and what happened? मतलब वहाँ से last छोड़ के जहाँ से आप आए हो अब वहाँ तक ले जाओ. The next job that you did with government of Manipur. उस time क्या हुआ?
I call myself lucky because after coming back from Chandigarh, I started preparing some for certain exams, not exactly the UPSC. UPSC was in my mind that time already, but then at the same time I was preparing for SSC exams. So I was well prepared that time. I mean, in terms of those current affairs or math. These departmental exams were on the same line. I mean, there was essays, there were maths, there were English, and then and there was a computer test also, an interview. I was.
एक सेकंड. So मणिपुर गवर्नमेंट के भी डिपार्टमेंट एग्जाम्स जो है वो यूपीएससी वाले फॉर्मेट में
Yeah, that particular initially it was called office assistant. Later on it changed to secretariat assistant. That part was somewhat different to other departmental exams. Yes, it has a three-step
process वहाँ पे भी है.
process था उसमें.
भगवान.
हाँ. So luckily I got the job, and then I was settled. I mean, at least I was secured in terms of job that I can somehow bring bread and butter to my family. Then I had nothing to worry. I was comfortable. Then only I started thinking like giving the civil service examinations. Again, that time, it is, I had no confidence that I will be able to clear this exam because I had no idea about it. But then I thought, I wanted to tell all the students in my community that as a student, you should definitely give this exam because this is the toughest exam in India. So that is how I started. I challenged myself and I wanted to see how far I have learned from this entire academy system, how far I can go. I just wanted to test myself that only. I had no reasons why I should be in the civil service, or I was not worried about whether I will be getting selected or not. I just wanted to see how far I can go. Then slowly it hooked me. Every year I kept on attempting, and slowly, and then while in the service, as I have shared earlier, I was attached to an IS officer, and then I saw their work, their respects that they were getting, the respects that they were getting. Then somehow I got interested into it. And finally in 2020, after meeting with my mentor, Vikas sir and Bright sir, I could clear prelims. So then I realized, I started getting serious then only. After that only, that I should put more efforts and it is doable.
Yeah. So once you cleared prelims, you got the confidence कि भाई
ये करना चाहिए, ये कर सकते
कर
हैं,
सकते हैं.
Before that, all the procedure was all wrong. I mean, after that, I've seen in the videos that you should start from mains and then prelims like that, but I never followed. But then after that, I corrected the procedure myself, and this is how it has come to this point.
Got it. So everyone, from like disadvantaged areas, like they all have this thing going on in their mind कि like नहीं होगा हमसे क्योंकि हमसे पहले किसी का नहीं हुआ. And I think that's a very like I'm no one to comment on something like that because I haven't been through the same path that others have been, right? But like मेरी लाइफ की जनरल फिलोसफी ये रहती है कि यार हमेशा पॉजिटिव रहो, like any negative thought you should counter. But how does someone counter something like this कि we can't clear because we haven't seen anybody else clear from our community, from our region, from our like when these thoughts came to you, right? What did you do? कि निकलते ही नहीं, हमारा निकलते ही नहीं है, right? What did you tell yourself? What made you come back with full force and then attack the exam again?
So one thing is that I don't bother about others are getting selected or not. I was at the comfort of my home. I had no one to compare with. I was simply working on myself. And no pressure was there from others. Others are giving tests, going to tuitions. There was no atmosphere as such around me. I was sitting in the office. Whenever I had time, I was reading it. I think that is one advantage I had because the atmosphere was very silent. There was no external pressure when it comes to other health. This many aspirants are there. Or the extra pressure is there now when you see people always. That atmosphere was not there, and I only work on myself. I don't compare with others. I did not look what others others are doing or not. Others are clearing the exam or not.
In fact, when his father came to see his mains, he got so scared.
Yes.
That so many people are aspiring for this job. And I think what did he say then to you?
Yeah, that was my second attempt in Delhi. Our father was accompanying me, my father, in Delhi, and he was shocked to see like everyone. I mean, with the books in between the breaks, no one was taking. Everyone was serious. Everyone, and then lots of people are coming. He was like, "Oh, this is the true competition. Everyone must go through this as a student." As I was saying, he had the same opinion, and again he said, "No, this is too much. This pressure is too much. I think sometimes I think he feels pity on me that that I had to go through this pressure." No? And I think he observes like from true facial expressions from the aspirants, the pressure while coming out, while going in, everyone was on the book. So that was one experience he had with us. And he also tells the community now that he also challenges the youngsters in my community that this exam is the right thing for every student to go through. That is what he used to say.
So he doesn't see this exam from the post perspective, but something
Teaching
that
you
will
life.
evolve.
Yes,
That will evolve a
you.
person because the pressure is so much. If anybody goes through that, he or she will be evolved in life. So I think he's right by saying that everybody should be approaching this exam, whosoever can. At least spend on education, approach this exam, and get evolved at least even if you don't get into the civil services. I think that is his idea. Have I got it right?
Yes, that is true.
Okay. So again, now you have cleared prelims, and so I met you in the interview program, so I don't know your main story. So again, how were you sure about mains? How did you go about mains, especially the current affairs part and everything that we talk about?
So first of all, I would say that there were some flaws in my preparation. There were no continuity on my part. I was working in Manipur Secretariat. So in between, there was a break in my studies also, in my preparations. And this men's gap was very less. I had to, right after the prelims, I had a break. Then when the result comes, then only I used to start preparing for men's. So I had very limited time, and so I had to be very strategic in my approach. And I think that is where mentors comes in a lot. So Bright sir and Vikas sir used to, they provide very concise notes, and they taught me the exact the structures, the directive or the questions. If the directive is this, how should you approach, and what should be there in the answers, like that. And then, and without going to any other sources, I used to revise their notes again and again and again. And I trust on those notes. And I think that helped me a lot. And my philosophy is in answer approach is that I utilize those informations or the facts or data or ideas wherever possible. I used to play around those little information here and there. I mean,
Got it.
हाँ.
So you had limited set.
Yes.
उसी को ही आप GS1 में भी कैसे use करो,
हाँ,
GS2 को.
like that.
You were
And
not
इसी-
like कि you were
हाँ.
not like कि भाई और information आप accumulate कर रहे हो. That was not your
Yes.
strategy. You had like a limited set and you were using it across all the papers and
Yes.
smartly you had figured out कि इसको मैं यहाँ भी use कर सकता हूँ, यहाँ भी use कर सकता हूँ.
like that.
Right.
I had no time.
And I can vouch that he trusted his mentor because
Yes.
when whatever I also taught him in the interview process, he used to note that down and he used to rigorously follow that. I mean, he is a good mentee that way. So I'm sure I can relate whatever he's saying in terms of means mentorship with his mentors.
So I think interview prep भी बहुत interesting था. I remember ma'am also talking very fondly about
So
him.
yes,
She remembers.
So Aradhana ma'am, of course, she goes on a bit higher level in terms of asking questions. And she was like, Saket, I have asked a lot of tough questions to this man. And there is no better questions I can think about, especially the region he comes from and the conflicts that are there. And she said that he was very, very calm, very, very composed. The way he handled the situation, I guarantee you that his name will be in the list, at least in the interview. And if Aradhana ma'am says that, I take it. Because I know how she judges and she says this on like face value, total face value. So I was also sure and I observed that during the one-to-one sessions that I had, multiple one-to-one sessions I've had with him. I used to observe this, that he was very good in noting down, very good in whatever I taught him, executing that in his marks. Excellent. So tell us more about your interview preparation. I think that is where I would be more excited.
Again, interview is one area where I was very scared of because I am not good in putting my ideas or putting my opinions forward, and my communications was also not up to the level, I should say. But then I'm very lucky enough that some friends randomly met somewhere suggested Saket sir's number. I contacted him, and then we had a very good session, one-to-one session with Saket sir, and the panel, mock panel was very. Yes, I think she was putting me tough questions, yes,
Very tough
and
questions.
very relevant questions. I got many points from those to work upon. The areas I did not expect it. And she asked me about the partiality of Chief Minister. I was totally blank what to answer. And then that was really a good experience for me. And other mentors also helped me, obviously. But then I also got confidence when Saket said that he gave me a range that I will get 170 to 190. And if lucky enough, 200, sir said. And I call myself very lucky that I got 187, I think, which I consider it very, very good marks in interview. So all thanks to Saket sir and your panel also.
No, I think it was in him because I had.
So from what I have heard, that Aradhana ma'am's questioning would have rattled any other aspirant,
Any
right?
other aspirant.
But he had no anger. He had no
Absolutely calm, like a saint. And
Zen mode.
Zen mode. And that is what she said, like, kaise? Everybody could not be rattled. And he's so calm and composed, he is bound to be in the list because it's a personality trait that they are looking also. And I told him, "Agar dange honge, if you will be in district, how could you be rattled? You have to be calm and composed, and you will be required there." So very, very ideal traits of being a bureaucrat. I'm sure he'll become IAS officer very soon. He has it in him, and he will do justice to his state, his community. You're the second one from your community.
Yes, sir.
So again, how does it feel, and how does the community feel, and how do you want to give it back to the community?
Yes, sir. First, IAS officer was the Dr. Angsim, and it definitely inspires lots of youngsters, not only me. Now, I can see that lots of bureaucrats will come up from our community, from my community,
Now
for sure,
they-
in few years to come.
So Dr. Anshum is not from your village, but
Not from my village, but then we are again very nearby in terms of relatives also. But the community in our tribe is that we know each other. Most of we have around, around 66 villages in my tribe.
Okay.
So somewhere around that. But then we almost know each other. It's some communities like we have. See, we needed lots of officers like in these services. So there was a huge moral support from my communities in terms of fasting. They prayed, the entire church was praying for me. I mean, not only one day, but throughout my interview process, prelims, men's interview, intensive prayings. I mean, all tribe praying for me. Yes. Sometimes that put pressure on me also. Sometimes I could not handle that pressure in my first men's. I was thinking like, people are so much supporting me. What if I fail to come out successfully? So that makes me feel somewhat guilty within also. And that was putting me lots of pressure. I could not handle that time. But gradually, I took that in a positive note. And then they were obviously very, very happy. And then for them, I will do my best, and especially in education, and especially particularly in this exam, I will definitely help and in contributing to produce more IAS officers or clearing this UPSC exam. That I have in my back of my mind. Definitely.
He's a father too, and you have 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
So what did you tell them about this exam? What did you say that what will happen if I clear this exam?
My first son, like I was little bit emotional also, because I don't know what to say. I separately told my son, the first son, especially the second son he's little bit young now. I told my first son a day before the result. We were expecting result next day. I said, I embraced him, and then I hugged him and I said, "Son, if I cannot make this exam, if I cannot make it to this exam, you promise me you will do it." And he was like, "Yes, father, I will do it." He's too young to promise that, but then I just wanted to share my my emotions. Like I was so uncertain what will come out. And I want him to remember that. And he was happy when the result came out. Both my sons were hugging me, and yeah, there was a happy ending after all.
And after the results, what did you say? How their lives will be changed?
My first son is more into big houses. He likes big houses, and I told him that if I get into this service, we will get big house. He was very happy about that.
And
second one is always asking about the toys and all. So we bought them 2 cycles recently,
Nice.
2 bicycles. They're happy.
Amazing.
They have no idea what I have cleared, but then after seeing people receiving me with flowers, garlands on that night, they also feel that yes, my father has achieved something, and they are happy.
Nice.
The biggest support system has been his father,
My father,
and of
family.
course his wife. I think there were 2 pillars of strength who helped him sail through this or navigate through this process.
And one thing about the community, how the community worked, responded, especially my villagers. I mean, they since my class 10th, they has been always supporting me. I don't know how. They always love me.
I don't know.
Yeah, they love me a lot. So if my family ask something from them in terms of prayers or supports, not financially, they are not in that terms. They are always ready to do that. So when this result came, the men's result came, everyone was dancing. I mean, in the village, there was a huge enjoyment. And then, and in this interview claims, final result came, and everyone got emotional. They were very, very happy. But then again, I could not get. They were sure that I told them that I will not be getting administrative service. So again, somehow they got dejected. I mean, they only know IAS. They don't know what is IFS. So that was from their part. I explained them that it is equally good service, and I told them that many youngsters are there. If I cannot reach IAS, there are many students who can do the same, and I will support them definitely. And that is what they expect from me also. Like I should be the guiding light. I should lead their children
As an example.
yes, as an example.
But you
that
should
is what
definitely.
I will definitely do that. I will definitely, because most of them, one good thing about my villagers or my tribe is that they get good ranks in high schools, wherever they study. After 12th, it is nowhere to be seen. I mean, they have little knowledge about what exams they can give after 12th exam or after graduate exams. So I think that is where I can play a very important role to show them that these exams we can give, these books you have to give, and this strategy.
Because cracking exams is a different ballgame
Yes.
than boards. I
Yes.
think that's what you meant. Ki boards mein they are doing very well.
Yes.
But when it comes to exams, that's a different strategy, different mindset. It's a
don't have
different
any-
skill
Yes.
altogether. Cracking exams.
Awareness ही नहीं है ना. They do not know
Awareness
कहाँ जाए,
वाला भी
कहाँ
issue
जाए.
है. So Molightson, final few bits. People who have been in the same background as you, right? And for that matter, even languages wala bhi, there are so many students who struggle because their language is not English, right? How would you help them? What is your suggestion to them कि उनका mindset कैसा होना चाहिए? Like, what is it that they can do so that they can push past those barriers, right? I read a quote somewhere कि your challenges are more in your imagination than reality. I think it's a famous Greek scholar ka quote during like Greece ke heydays, right? So like what would you if you had to send them a message, right? How do you get them to be energized, be like filled with momentum when they are pushing their own boundaries, right?
So the thing, what I experienced, what I learned from this entire journey is that it's all about handling the pressure, how you get out of how you handle the pressures, how you get out of demotivation. These tough things, the situations it is for sure to come in between the preparations. More than the exams, I think handling these pressures is more difficult. So so first thing is, the first and foremost important thing is the mentor. Trusting the mentors. Just simply blindly trust them. Apply whatever they're teaching you on the paper. We hardly follow what the mentors are saying, and in the end, then we do not get the right results. So I'm so thankful to my mentors also. They handholded me, and I put whatever they have taught me on the paper. I think that is the biggest thing that we should do, rather than worrying about I have not done this, I have not done that, others have gone through, I have not scored good marks. I think we should not worry about that. Those are the temptations, those are the hindrances that they will throw on us, all the aspirants. So if we can come out of that pressures and calmly handle their situations and move on, I think it is more than the exam, as I'm repeating again, more than the exam, handling this pressure is the biggest challenge in this journey. So despite this, if you can do it, I think everyone can clear this exam.
It's an aptitude-based exam.
Yes.
Aptitude has rating.
In the end of the day, there are lots of friends who has far better knowledge than me. In front of them, I'm nothing. I feel that way during my interview preparation also. I was shocked to see my colleagues answering all the questions. There were no questions where they say, I don't know. But whereas I had very limited knowledge. So what if someone asks me why I crack this exam is first is the right mentors and never giving up attitude and always pushing myself and handling the pressures very efficiently. Because in the mains I cannot express in words the pressures that I get. I mean, it must be the same experience with all the aspirants. Coping up with that pressure it's a huge achievement. Right after the last mains paper, coming out of that exam hall is the lightest moment I have ever experienced, and I dare everyone to experience that moment. It's like lifting mountain off my shoulder. That sort of getting selected or not is another thing, but finishing that mains paper is a huge achievement. So overall, handling the pressures is the biggest thing.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Molightson. We are truly humbled to hear your story, and we really hope that you will get into IS very soon and give your community back in the bestest form possible.
Definitely, sir.
Guys, Molightson,
Thank you, Kamil.
solid, yaar. Like, you will hardly come across
Such stories.
people with so much integrity, so much strength, right? Amazing.